Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Optimize Evony. Uh, the Elena has come back with the response to the dev call as promised, and so I wanted to go through this and talk about what I think about it. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty in line with what I expected, but it is what it is. Um, I'll talk about the things that I like and the things that I don't like, and then yeah. So let's kind of get into it. They had separated into a couple different uh, a couple different categories. So first about the new equipment, amplification, equipment upgrade, advanced refining. Then the next one is 45, Council of State, new technology, spiritual beast seal, dragon talent, ideal land, hell Viking, great expedition, which we all told them was absolutely terrible. Hunting privilege cards, alliance boss, alliance duel, SVS battlefield all stars and challenge, and PvE or PvP gameplay that should be added. So let's kind of go through it. The first one was add free ways to get Civ equipment fragments. And so their response was the rewards of the new battlefield will include Civ equipment fragments, and the original events will increase the output of Civ equipment fragments. We'll see on this one. I feel like they've said multiple times, oh, we're increasing the rate of dropping of Civ fragments or anything like that. But uh, I don't know. This is at least more than what they've said before. Before they've said, "Oh, we'll have some new way to get it," which now they do have. Apparently, this new battlefield that's coming is going to have Civ equipment fragments as a return for it, which is awesome. But the the like wheel of fortune or wheel of civilization was their response to this, and that's really just not good enough in my eyes and in the eyes of most people. Civ Gear has been out for like 2 years now, 2+ years now, and still a lot of the player base does not have even a couple pieces of Civ Gear. So that really needs to change. I mean they did change and add the equipment upgrade, but the amount of time that it'll take to actually have that actually help things, and still the fact that the the refine limit is still lower, and you can't do this new advanced refining, which essentially just makes keeps putting these people further and further behind, because it used to be just the civ gear, so just like the set bonuses and just the uh, just the increased refine. So basically, you would have like 20% more refine ability on a piece of Civ gear than you would on Achaemenid uh, or Ares gear. And that was it was a big difference. But now, with the insane buffs that we're seeing, 20% really isn't that much. But the advanced refining and the amplification and stuff like that are actually pushing that significantly higher than what it used to be. So they really just need to give everyone Civ gear for free. There's no reason to keep holding it back. I don't know if the number of people that are buying packs for the Civ gear is worth what they're getting, as opposed to the number of people that would continue buying packs for other reasons, and for the meteoric stones and stuff like that. Um, but that's the first one. We've kind of heard similar stuff before. We'll see how easy it is. I don't expect it to be like, oh, you're gonna get a piece of Civ gear in a month. I expect it to be like, oh, you're gonna get a piece of Civ gear, every like year. I don't know, which sounds pretty depressing, but that's kind of the way of it right now. So the second one is add free ways to get meteoric stones. That's an absolute must. I'm really sick of them adding new things and it being strictly pay to play. Really, like, I mean, it it always used to be that, yeah, you got all these things from coining. You could also get them for free. And so actually a big reason why a lot of people coined was to get them faster, right? Get them faster and then they could help their alliance mates get them, right? So like, when the like the Achaemenides scrolls were in bosses, the big coiners would essentially coin, get all these scrolls, get all the buffs that they needed to be able to kill the monsters that drop these scrolls, and then those scrolls then essentially the people in the alliance could then benefit from that. And so these big coiners coined more to do that instead of less. And so I really wish they would kind of get back to that. I think there's a lot of cases where big coiners are actually really trying to help out their alliance, and they're really just not able to keep them competitive, keep their buffs up, so yeah, I hopefully the meteoric stones will be enough to, at least grind a little bit there. Next one, refinement range should be expanded to 30% after, either Ares or Archimedes set is upgraded. No plans for the time being. I thought this was a little bit of a stretch. It would be great. Again, talking about it, this is not actually like a critical thing in terms of like the buffs that they're giving us. Like no, it's not going to bridge the gap to have, free to play players getting 20% more buff per piece. When there's research that does, that in like 2 clicks. So, but I guess right now there's no plans. Um, New general should support having dragons or beasts to activate skills. I don't know who asked this. I don't. This was not part of the meeting to my recollection. This is probably just something that they want to do, and so they, or maybe someone messaged on one of their forums or something for this. There will be more new generals of this type in the future. I actually hate this. The fact that things have to carry spiritual beasts are not so bad because there's a lot of them out now. But the dragons, there's only so many, and you kind of need them for important, PvP stuff. So having to have like a backup gen have a dragon really limits the number of people who can do that, right? Because you almost need to have been in All Stars and to have been in All Stars multiple times to kind of have a backup dragon. And even if you're going to have a backup dragon, I don't really want to use it on, let's say like an assistant to trigger their skill or, something like that. I would rather have it be like a backup general to rain people with or something like that. Equipment should increase the refinement cap by a fixed value. Not really sure what this is. Maybe it's related to the I don't know. That seems kind of related to the refinement range again. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, there's no plans on this for the time being, so it doesn't really make sense to talk too much about it anyways. All right, moving on. Blood of Ares, making us, get some more of that. No plans. Of course, Blood of Ares is one of their chokehold points right now. Increase the output of gold, tactic scrolls, and speed ups. So this is actually super cool. Increasing the number of tactic scrolls in level 6 humors and pan rewards. And then there'll be new gold events in the future. Gold events, we'll see. I I rarely have high expectations for gold on Evony. Like the Vikings are okay. Some of the, new stuff is okay. I think the biggest thing that they actually did for this was having the goblins, drop 2 million gold per hit. So really, for me and for a lot of other people, that is still a major way to get gold. Yeah, it takes a little bit more time to do it. You know, you're not just sitting in the hive rallying and stuff like that, but it is nice. So, but yeah, the tactics scrolls increased in level 6 and Ymir and Pan rewards. That's pretty cool. That's kind of one of the main reasons why I don't like Y6s or P6s because, yes, I can kill them, and yes, it's a ton of wounded for me because my buffs aren't amazing. But I would do it if there were tactics scrolls, right? Again, tactics scrolls are one way that you can actually improve things for your alliance. So, you rally these, you get your alliance tactics scrolls, they can then use those for increasing their buffs instead of coining for it. And so that's what I do. I don't buy tactics rolls. I use Ymers and Pans, and so I we'll see how much they increase it. It could just be like a single more tactics scroll, which will make a difference, but it's not huge. Um, Increase the output of badge and dragon crystal. I actually talked about this a little bit because the increase in the number of badges and dragon crystals that you need for like upgrading the dragon talents and stuff like that is is crazy. I was always uh I always needed more of the dragon stones than I did of the badges or the dragon crystals to upgrade the dragon talents. But now with this latest update, I cannot keep up with the badges, and so I could maybe max a couple of them, but I can't get the badges to do it. So uh, if they're going to increase the number of badges and dragon crystals required, they should also have some way of getting those. Not everyone has kept those around and saved those up forever, even on older servers. Ideal land buffs are expensive and ineffective. The price performance ratio is poor. They will optimize the buff effect of ideal land. That was actually not what we were asking. We didn't care about ideal land at all, and would prefer that they just get rid of it. But of course, they've built it in the game. They've built it as a coining mechanism, so they're not going to get rid of it. Hopefully, they make it a little bit more attainable, but I kind of doubt it. Hell Vikings are difficult, and basically, just in general, there's a mismatch between the rewards gained and the consumption for healing wounded troops. They're interesting enough. They're planning on adjusting the difficulty of Hell Viking at level 35 and above, and increase the value of the final challenge rewards for level 40 and above. That's cool. I think that's one of the big reasons why people don't really want to do it. Yes, you get like 10 more of the upgrade tokens for upgrading Ares and Academy ac, acad, gear, but you're the wounded is just so intense, and it's only 10, so it's not like it's a big thing. Don't like the expeditions. Honestly, we didn't even remember them. Uh, and should at least have a number of daily freebies because I do remember you could only coin to play. So, yeah, I don't know if I care about that at all. That was not a fun event. Increase the rewards for new bosses. Again, they're talking about tactics rolls. So, reduce the price of hunting privilege card and adjust the rewards, adding stamina. No plans for the time being. Okay, fine. Um, yeah, so Alliance Duel, there was a kind of a limitation on like if you don't have 20 good players in your alliance, you're really kind of screwed. And so uh, they were talking about re reducing the cap and kind of making it more fair there. So they talked about increasing the minimum enrollment limit or adjusting the minimum enrollment limit, increasing the exchange rewards, shorten the calculation time because two days for something that is already pre-calculated doesn't really make sense, and optimizing the experience. Okay, cool. Viking Rally, add 2 minutes to the wait time option. No plans. All right, here's the important thing. lag remains to be a serious problem. We just had challenge. There were a bunch of people in my alliance that had issues with lag. Uh, they say will be continuously optimized. Again, I don't think this is improved. If anything, I think it's gotten worse. So I actually think the interesting thing about the lag in the last challenge was the fact that it did not hit everyone equally, right? Usually when lag happens, it hits everyone more or less equally, where everyone's kind of locked out, has marches stuck, can't speed marches, all of that stuff. But this time it seemed like, like the majority of my team was locked out or, couldn't really do much or couldn't port out of rallies, which of course made challenge not super fun. But I actually did not really experience lag. I had a pretty great experience. And so I don't know how that works. From a technical standpoint, everyone should be, hitting the same leg unless it's coming from, like your service provider. But the number of people that were experiencing it was not a service provider issue. It was an Evony issue. So I don't know why this was not hitting people equally. In fact, that actually makes things a little bit less fair. Because it seemed like the team that we were up against, they were still rallying super, super quick, and we essentially couldn't do anything. We couldn't rain people. We couldn't port. Nothing. So that was not super fun. But yeah, they say that it'll be continue to be optimized. I don't actually see that happening. I just continue to see it getting worse. The more and more stuff that they add to the game, the more laggy it's going to become. New rewards added to major battlefield finders to encourage battlefield players to achieve higher rankings. This is kind of cool. There's really no reason to play in finals, at least not to heal or do anything like that. And so they say that it'll be adjusted. Hopefully, this doesn't mean that they're taking the rewards from the semifinals or getting into the finals and moving them to the finals. Because that's how it used to be, but I do actually like this way a lot better. Battlefield time should be reduced from 2 hours to 1 hour. Still under discussion. I don't anticipate they're going to do this soon. Added new time options. Specifically a time option between time 8 and 9. It's just dumb. There's no reason to have 4 hours there when you have literally the entire rest of the day that has battlefields every 2 hours. Uh, they say that it's already being optimized. We'll see. We'll see if it does come out. Um, Two battlefields instead of one. Players who joins at slot one can't join at slot two. That would be kind of cool, particularly for alliances that have one, too many players to play in one battlefield, and two, span multiple time zones. Because I know, at least for my alliance, scheduling battlefields is really difficult. There's always people who are late, or it's in the middle of the night for them, or whatnot. And then All Stars and Challenge timings need to be different for Major, Elite, and Junior. Still in discussion. Yeah, bummer, but that it is what it is. This is the easiest thing they could do to improve the leg, in my opinion. I mean, the fact that you're putting all the elite and the junior people at the same time as major, and you already have a leg problem, like just does not make sense. Just, like anyone could see this. It doesn't take like a technical genius to see that they could just spread that through the day. You would also get more people trying to stream and trying to be competitive and stuff like that because it's not at the same time as the major league. But yeah, still under discussion. We'll see what comes out about that. I don't see that's going to really change, unfortunately, because it makes sense. Add a new arena to allow players to test troops and buffs and debuffs. No plans. This is constantly being brought up, but they basically say no plans every time. Uh, in my opinion, I mean, Battlefield is the place to test things, right? Like you're not losing your troops. Uh, I kind of agree with them on this. Battlefield is a testing ground. I think the problem with it is they've changed buffs. They've made buffs that are only applied during battlefield. And so it's really hard to see how you're going to behave outside of Battlefield now. So now you have a pretty good understanding of, okay, like what rallies I can take and will I go positive on these things in Battlefield, but outside of Battlefield and SVS and stuff like that, you're losing some buffs. It's a whole different gameplay, and so uh, it's almost like they've made this area where you can test out, and then they've changed it from all the rest of the gameplay. And so that's the part that I don't like. I think Battlefield is fine to test things out in. Advanced troop march speed up, bargain packages. This is sorely needed. Uh, every competitive alliance cannot keep up with the number of march speed ups that they're using per battle. I mean, on any given week, people are probably using like at least 200 March speedups. And unless you're coining aggressively, you're never going to have enough March speedups. And then you're going to get to things where it actually matters, like qualifying for All Stars, playing All Stars, challenge, and you're not going to have enough to really compete at that level. And so hopefully, as they said here, they will increase the amount of free troop march speedups because this is actually one of the easiest things they can do to make the game more fun, right? March speedups are a requirement for PvP. Anyone who's not, immediately speeding into rallies, anyone who's not speeding marches and stuff like that, like is going to be too late. They're going to hit a bunch of rains. And so again, making it free helps make the big coiners have more fun. Because if the big coiners are the only people who have March speedups, then you're essentially waiting for all of your alliance to join the rally while they're being rallied and stuff like that, and then you can take over speeding it. But uh, if people don't have March speedups, that still is a bottleneck. So hopefully that does happen. Increased output of gold, we already talked about that. Runestones still under discussion. They've already actually increased runestones pretty significantly in the K45 update. It used to be a lot harder to get runestones, but now there's a lot of events that give more runestones. And I think part of that reason is because it is a requirement to get to K41 is to have I think like six max specialty generals, and so the number of runestones required for that is intense, and so they have been increasing that a little bit. Increase the output of waybills. They didn't really acknowledge that they removed it from hydras, but they did say that they'll increase the number of waybills in the alliance ranking reward for hydra event. I don't think there's currently any waybills there, but I guess that's okay. I don't know. It's still not as good as the waybills in hydras, but oh well. Introduce new boss only buffs. I don't know who asked for this. I think having specific buffs for every single thing is just a way to make people coin more. I don't know anyone who is like, oh, I wish there were more buffs that only applied in this specific situation. I just, prefer overall buffs. I typically don't have, my like boss gens, like yeah, I have some of the like Ethelfleds and stuff like that to act as an assistant that have all of the boss skills, but having new generals and new boss only buffs is just a bit annoying, I feel like. Increase the output of stamina, no plans. Great, cool. They removed the one pack that everyone actually bought, and no, they have no plans of improving it. I do think that they tend to ratchet down on stamina when they release new versions because it's the way that free to play or even pay to play players that are using alts, a lot of them consume a ton of stamina, and so it's a way of kind of gating that. Um, Yeah, this is a good one. Don't add any new gameplay or features. Prioritize fixing existing issues like lag and glitches. Will be continuously optimized. Yeah, we'll see. That has not been my experience for the last 6 years. They will continue adding new features. Do not worry. The lag will be as bad or worse. Do not stress about that. It is going to happen. They need to fix it, but they do not prioritize it. Upgrading requires so many resources that players can only raise their own farms, but they will be banned as research merchants. Still under discussion. Okay, we'll see. Easy way to get rid of mountains of blue equipment. I don't know who brought this up. This is not like a huge concern. Yeah, I probably have like thousands of blue equipment, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They can just like add it in stacks or something. March preset copy option or 1,000 same number of all tiers option, that would be amazing. That is probably the single biggest annoying thing when you're trying to PvP, is adjusting your presets for a different buff size. So like for example, because I prioritize battlefields and stuff like that, I set up all of my presets for seniors. But what that means is that when I don't have a senior on, all of the lower level troops are gone from my march, and my march is significantly weaker because of that. And so having a way to just, quickly change that or something like that, they say it's already being optimized. So we'll see. I don't have high hopes because this has been something that has been around for 6 years, and we've talked about it a number of times, but hopefully they do actually add something there. And then finally, the last option is increase the frequency of player meetings and hold meetings for players of different paying groups, already being optimized. I don't know what that means. We'll see. I don't expect that this is going to change. They, in my opinion, they hold these meetings to basically calm down players, like make it feel like players are being heard, and then they do all the stuff that they're going to anyways, plus anything that they learned about the coining aspects of the game, because that's what they really care about. So yeah, I don't know, guys. What do you think? This has been kind of a long read through of this. I'll add the link to this in the description of the video, so you guys can see this and share this with your alliance mates. But let me know what you think on this. I think it's slightly better than some of the previous discussions, but it really again depends on how they improve these things, because you can improve you can improve any single one of these things, and or you can change any one of these things, and by changing it make it worse, right? Like, you I don't know, any of these things, like increase the output of blood of Ares. They could say, we plan on doing this, but that could only be in packs. And then, the gap widens again. That's typically how things go. So, really, we just need to see how they change some of these things. And so, I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't see any serious changes happening here. Um, I think there was be some nice improvements that I would like to see, kind of like the March preset, like we talked about, and stuff like that, and like the Yimmer stuff. I think is great, like the tactic scrolls, because they're just such a an important resource right now. So, but yeah, thanks for watching. Kind of long, but there was a lot going on here, and I wanted to make sure that I covered everything. Um, Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I know some people have been reaching out to me on about the Aptoid promo code. My promo code has expired. There will be a new promo code from me in the beginning of September. I'll let you guys know what that is. But as of right now, yeah, my promo code has expired, unfortunately, and they basically wanted to have some time in between that expiring and the new code. Yeah, I would love to have you guys continue to support the channel, and use the code that comes out in September. But if not, I think there are probably also some other codes that are still active right now, and I'll let you guys know on that as well. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.